Last time out on T.Ray, the Monsters invaded Hartford, Connecticut, where they turned in some of the craziest performances of the year, wowing fans and judges in their freestyle competitions. Now, as we roll into Stafford, Connecticut, at the Stafford Motor Speedway, 6 of the best trucks and drivers will battle it out over 3 competitions with wheelies, racing, and freestyle. We're going full on right here, right now on T.Ray.
We're going to start out here first with Chris Bergeron behind the wheel of the Brutus from Columbus, Michigan, part of Team Scream. Now, Tyler, you know, obviously, this is our first time really seeing Chris Bergeron in Brutus, and it's wheelie competition, our first time seeing that as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a night of first as Chris Bergeron starts the wheelie competition with a nice sky wheelie there. Of course, all the trucks and drivers are going to have 2 attempts at the backside of the racing lanes. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't throw in a slap wheelie or 2 if you get the opportunity, but the judges will score out of 30 here, and Chris Bergeron started off the competition with a nice sky wheelie there. He's got 1 more attempt to see how high he can score.
Nice, standing it straight up and down, and a little slap wheelie to boot.
That was a really good slap wheelie there, but that sky wheelie, man, he almost cleared all the cars there. Scores coming in at 25 for Brutus. Not a bad start for Chris Bergeron.
Now here we go. We got Jim Kohler, also the other half of Team Scream, and Mr. Excitement. You know, he's very familiar with wheelies, Tyler.
Yeah, you know, he comes all the way from Columbus, Michigan, and he's excited to be here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. We've seen him throughout the year on T.Ray, but now we get a chance to see him in different competitions. Nice right there, a perfect sky wheelie there, sets it down, turns it right back around to see if he can get another hit here. You know, he's got 2 on the board. The first one was really good. He's really going to have to stand it straight up and down again if he wants to take the lead away from Chris Bergeron with a 25.
See if he can do it here in his second hit. Straight up and down, crushing the cars, and another slap wheelie. Nicely done, pretty much vertical there.
That slap wheelie was for the fans. That was awesome. You can really hear the horsepower from Jim Kohler's Avenger. So a score of only a 22 will land him in second place as of right now. So your leader is still Chris Bergeron with Brutus. But now Scott Stevens from Houston, Texas will pilot the King Crunch. Of course, it's rocking this retro paint scheme here, Trent. We've seen it before. And Scott, you know, he's really more of a racer, but he's really trying to up his game in freestyle and wheelies.
And he's really going to try and take the lead here. You know, they're all battling for points here. And that was a huge air coming from that sky wheelie. And obviously, Scott Stevens really is trying to bring something home for the Texas fans.
That was a really good first attempt there. He's got 1 more on the board. He basically cleared that entire car stack. You know, wheelies really originated from to crush down the cars prior to racing so they could have a better racing passes. So we're kind of keeping that tradition alive here. So King Crunch, not a bad start here. I don't think it's going to be enough for the lead, and it won't be. The score coming in from the judges of only a 21. So not bad from Scott Stevens from Houston, Texas. We're going to see more out of King Crunch. But here's a guy that is driving one of the fastest monster trucks in the world. That's right, Todd Frolick out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, will pilot the beautiful Barefoot.
You know, it's really nice to see Barefoot back on the T.Ray channel, and obviously just a great retro paint scheme, and want to have a veteran like Todd Frolick with a huge sky wheelie.
Wow, that was insane there, Trent. He stood that thing all the way up and down and got some of the highest air we have seen all evening long so far. Not bad first attempt from Barefoot.
He practically went past vertical on that one as well. Going for his second hit here in wheelie competition. Nice, standing it straight up and down. Trying to get a little slap wheelie. Look at that, the horsepower from the Barefoot. Nicely done, but what did the judges think? Score of a 27. That will definitely put him in the lead there. Todd Frolick takes the lead with wheelies.
Not a bad performance from the old Barefoot. The score of a 27 is going to be hard to beat, but here's a guy that we've been looking out for. Andy Brass from St. Louis, Missouri will pilot the one and only Ford-sponsored Bigfoot.
A nice look at the old paint scheme that he drove. And, you know, Andy Brass coming back out of retirement to drive here. And obviously, Andy's not really too familiar with wheelies. You know, he did do a wheelie in Lima a couple years back, but As far as wheelie competition, this is uncharted territory for Andy Brass.
Yeah, and this truck is a little different style setup right here, Trent, but I do want to capitalize. I just saw something right here. That looked like he has the cantilever set up in the back, so it already looks a little cattywampus, but he came off that a little sideways, and I can see right here he's got a sway bar broken there, Trent. That's going to hinder his performance.
Absolutely. You know, with the cantilever setup, you know, it's built for racing, not really wheelies or freestyle, but he's still doing it with a nice sky wheelie. And obviously those broken sway bars, hopefully they can get those fixed before racing.
So not a bad effort there from the old Bigfoot with Andy Brass. The scores come in of only a 23, so not going to be enough for the lead, but a nice effort for the Ford team. For our final competitor out here in the Stafford Motor Speedway, we have Gary Porter from Wadesboro, North Carolina, driving Digger number 12.
The longest of the Digger fleet when it comes to racing. It's built for racing, just like Andy Brass's Bigfoot is. But Grave Digger 12, you know, it's no slouch when it comes to freestyle or wheelies.
Yeah, and Gary Porter is a veteran driver. He really found his home in this Gravedigger piece. He loves driving it. You can see on the back there, of course, they got the Jolly Roger flag, but on the other side, the checkered flag from a non-televised T.Ray event. He actually was the overall champion and racing winner there, so you can see the checkered flag kind of coming into play here, so he's going to want to try to keep that, but nonetheless, during wheelies, a nice start here, keeping a good momentum, sky wheeling it out. Good job there from Gary Porter.
Showing that the Diggers still got it here in Stafford. But a score of a 20 won't be able to put them up there very high on the scoreboard. But, you know, there's still plenty of competitions to go. Rounding out our top three here in the point standings so far, Todd Follick with the Barefoot will get a 27. Chris Bergeron on the Brutus with a 25. And rounding off Bigfoot, Andy Brass with a 23.
So as you see right there, they're going to keep the standings going on through the night. But here we go. Our first race, Chris Bergeron in the left lane with Brutus, taking on Andy Brass in the right lane with Bigfoot.
And look at the horsepower from Brutus getting up and over. It looked like Andy Brass won, but the officials are taking it back and reviewing. They might have
that was crazy, and I just want to. Yeah, I just want to apologize. You know, I meant the Brutus is in the right lane for the actual lane. So sorry about that, but that was a crazy race right here. Look at this awesome onboard Lincoln camera in one of the crush cars. Andy Brass is looking like he's going to get a 5-second penalty because he did not get both of those front tires up that ramp. But look at Chris Bergeron with the wheelie, Trent.
Using all the horsepower, not letting down because he knows how strong of a racer Andy Brass is. Chris Bergeron will get the lucky pass here and move on. But now here we go, Scott Stevens going up against Gary Porter. These guys used to run in the TNT days. You think they got a little bit of rivalry going? Look at that!
Wow. Let me just tell you, King Crusher. Oh, there's collision! Oh, hang on! Scott Stevens had touched the tire of Gravedigger and it actually rolled him over. I was just about to say that Scott Stevens was all over the place at the beginning of that race. Take a look right here. He's trying to wheel it in, trying to keep it going. Look at Gary Porter, straight as an arrow, and then right here they touch, and over she goes for Scott Stevens and King Crunch. What a wild ride right there.
Definitely got some body damage on the King Crunch. Let's take one more look here on the Jones cam from Gravedigger. You can see Gary Porter sawing up the wheel. A nice pass here in straight line racing, but then there it is, King Crunch clipping that front tire, and up and over he goes.
What a cool camera right there, man. That is awesome. Good coverage right here, only on T.Ray, of course. So look at that. Gary Porter in Gravedigger will be moving on into our next round of racing where he's going to take on Brutus with Chris Bergeron behind the wheel. Not a bad right there. So here we go. Jim Kohler in the right lane with Avenger, taking on Todd Frolic in the left lane of Barefoot. Let's see.
Going at it, looking even so far. It was a race to the finish. Oh, whoa, Avenger, look out!
Are you kidding me? He gets into a nosedive, and instead of rolling it over, he gets on the throttle, but he doesn't see that wheelie bump that they had made down there, and Jim Kohler stuffs the front end and sends him to the moon. Look at this. What a close race, Trent. I don't even know who won that one.
That's what I was about to say. Who won this race here with Todd Frolic and Jim Kohler? The officials are going over. Look at this Jones cam we got. Jim Kohler at the wheel. You can see he got crossed up here at the very end, trying to get on that throttle. Ow, that's gotta hurt.
And settles it down instead of going end over end. Avenger. Let's take a look at the replay here. And there it is. Avenger by a headlight will move on, beating Barefoot.
And here we go. That race you mentioned earlier, Brutus and Gravedigger. Looked like Brutus had him off the line, but look at Gravedigger straight as an arrow. Oh, man. That was a tough one to call.
That's another close race here, Trent. We're going to have to go to the replay here. My gut reaction says Brutus, but I don't know here. We're going to have to take a look. That was a really close race right here. Look at them trying to stay in line there. Oh, you know what? I think Chris Bergeron got a little too far to the right there and got a one-tire penalty, and that is what I'm hearing right now. So Gravedigger, nonetheless, will move on, and Brutus has got to be upset about that.
Absolutely, you know, after getting so far in wheelies and getting into the semifinals and racing, and there it is, Brutus clearly won, but that one tire puts him in the trailers.
So as Gary Porter takes Gravedigger number 12 back to the pits to get ready for the championship race where he will take on one of these two here. So we got Avenger in the right lane, Jim Kohler, and then Todd Frolic in the left lane with Barefoot. Let's see who will go to the championship race.
Todd Frolic coming back as fast loser. I mean, now he's got to face the guy who he beat last round, but is Todd Frolic going to be able to keep it? I'm not too sure. It's a close race again.
Jim Kohler got a little excited there, and this time he just mashed the throttle and jumped that end. But Todd Frolic and Barefoot got a little sideways there. I didn't see off the camera, but I thought he might have been he might have been flipping over there, looking at trying to get over. He does cross the line first, but I think he got a one tire here. You can see this bumper goes flying, gets a little crossed up, and gets on the binders, so he doesn't roll over. Let's take a look at that again, Trent.
They're getting crossed up. It might be a one tire, not too sure, but you can definitely tell it was a close race. Take a look at one more angle here. What a wild race we saw there. And there it goes one more time. He got really crossed up, and it looks like that is going to be the case. The officials are calling a one tire on Todd Frolic and the Barefoot. What a tough break.
So for our third place race here, Chris Bergeron will take on Todd Frolic in Barefoot. Whoa!
No matter if it was the finals or the third place race, they both ran to get that win, man.
That was incredible. Let's take a look at that again because, I mean, I don't know who won that, but let's see. So Barefoot getting a little sideways, actually gets a one tire, but Brutus also gets a penalty. So both of those penalties will offset each other and cancel each other out, meaning Brutus with Chris Bergeron is your winner. But now, here we come to the finals. In the left lane, we have Gravedigger Gary Porter taking on Avengers Jim Kohler.
I'm going to wait on that green light here. This is going to be an intense race. And here they go. Maybe a slight lead to Avenger. Gary Porter looking strong. That looked to be Gravedigger.
What a wild race right there. They both got on the binders to stop, but they were both full on right here to the end. That was crazy. Let's take a look at this Jones camera with Jim Kohler here. This is such an awesome camera angle. You can see neck and neck with Gravedigger.
Now we're getting word that from the officials that Gravedigger looks to have one tire. We're going to take a look at this Jones cam here. And yep, there it is again. That lane takes another one here as Gary Porter will lose with the one tire.
So that means Jim Kohler, Mr. Excitement in Avenger, will be your racing bracket winner. Look at him kind of nudging old Gary here. I gotta love it. A little fanfare for everyone in attendance here at Stafford Motor Speedway and watching at home. Congratulations to Jim Kohler and Avenger.
You know, both of those drivers ran really hard in that final race, and it definitely proves, I mean, look how much he had to get on the brakes to be able to set it down here. Jim Kohler will take the racing championship here as he celebrates with all of his fans in Stafford.
Nice air right there, Trent, and he's got to be excited, man.
I'm sure, you know, he doesn't really win racing a whole lot, but nicely done. Jim Kohler, again, taking the racing here in Stafford. Look at the point standings. He's in the lead with a 34, and Brutus with the 33 as well as Barefoot, and Gravedigger with the 30, and you know, both Brutus and Barefoot will round up with a tie, so that means 30. Gravedigger is your third place winner.
That's right. So that includes our racing and wheelies portion of the night. But here's what everybody came to see. That's right, our freestyle portion. From Houston, Texas, we have Scott Stevens in King Crunch will start his time. You will notice that they got a minute 30 on the clock for freestyle.
Yeah, minute 30 is... It's kind of weird to take away 30 seconds from a freestyle. You know, it gives you a little less time to work with, but it also means that you got to get going and do what you need to do to be able to get a good score. And, you know, Scott Stevens, when it comes to it, he's not really much known as a freestyler, but he's doing a solid job here so far.
Well, we got to also remember that Scott Stevens has already been upside down once tonight. He turned it over earlier in the racing portion of the broadcast when he raced Gravedigger, so he's already got a little bit of damage going on, but what's a little bit more for the fans here for freestyle?
Getting a nice sky wheelie, getting a little crossed up, able to settle it down. As King Crunch keeps going on here in freestyle and already looks to have some problems.
Yeah, it looks like he has an issue with that right rear shock. It might have broken. We're going to see right here as he gets past us on the cameras. But Scott Stevens, man, oh yeah, look, you can see the way the truck's kind of twisting up in the air. He's got a little gangster tilt going on. King Crunch, tough break right here. He's got 20 seconds. He's got to finish out. He's going to try to do what he can. But, man, King Crunch is having a hell of a night.
But, you know, that's what the fans really appreciate here. They love the perseverance of the drivers, especially with Scott Stevens and King Crunch. Even with the broken truck, still trying to put on a show. And you got to give it to him. With 2 seconds, their time's expired. And one more hit here for freestyle. He's going to put up a score.
Not a bad effort. I think the judges and fans are going to tip their hat to Scott Stevens, and as the scores come in with a 20, that's pretty much all he can do with a broken truck, but nonetheless, a nice weekend here for King Crunch. Now, our next competitor for freestyle is a madman. The other half of Team Screams, Chris Bergeron and Brutus.
Always known to be one of the craziest guys when it comes to freestyle. Always known to put that truck over on its lid, usually. It's on its lid more than it's ever on its wheels. But tonight, I think Chris is definitely looking to get some of those points.
Nice air there for Brutus. Got one right there that, you know, he's... Oh, here we go. First one to attack the Explorers there. Nice sky wheelie, settles it down. Good job, Chris Bergeron, showing the fans something a little extra here, Trent.
Absolutely, you know, you got to hand it to these track officials. Definitely giving the drivers an interesting little freestyle course to go off of. It's not too much, but it's not too little either. Chris Bergeron's turning around in the field. He's looking to go for the cinder ramp. Nice air from the Brutus.
Keeping good momentum here. He's about halfway through his run. 40 seconds left for Chris Bergeron in Brutus here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Another slap wheelie continuing on. Hits the Explorer ramps, and he's doing a good job keeping good momentum here, but he's got 30 seconds, Trent. I got to see a little bit more.
Yeah, he's really got to turn up that wick here in the final 30 seconds. Definitely looks to be trying, at least, you know, with a nice little slap wheelie head going here. He's going to turn it into some donuts.
All right, here we go. Chris Bergeron turning on the fans here in Stafford. 10 seconds left for Brutus.
Dancing and carrying the wheelie.
Oh, hang on. Oh, took a shot and settles it down. He's dancing here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Not bad at all for old Chris Bergeron and Brutus.
One final goodbye to these fans before he gets back to the trailer. A score of a 26 will go on the board as he takes the lead here in freestyle. Nicely done from Chris Bergeron.
So here we go, the captain of Team Scream, Mr. Excitement himself, the two-time world freestyle champion, Jim Kohler, will pilot Avenger to try to take another win here. Remember, he's already solidified as a winner in racing. He can double down to tonight if he tries, but look at this. Oh, already getting all a little sideways. Took a shot, but continues on. Those cars on that side, I mean, we've seen a lot of people kind of get a little sideways off that stack trend. I think that side of the cars is kind of going away.
Oh, absolutely. You know, with all these trucks really hitting these cars hard, you know, the track, especially after racing, it's starting to wither away. So it's these final few drivers really have to drive hard to really get anything out of this track. But luckily, you know, they got a lot of dirt ramps that will be able to last a little longer, so we'll still see some big air.
Yeah, Jim Kohler, an Avenger. He is known for his Kohler sins. And look at there's one right there off the middle jump. Not bad job so far. Avenger really throwing down here combos. Man, this is what it's going to have to take this track because it's in such a straight line style setup. You got to hit their combos. If you're going around things, the judges aren't going to score you very high.
No, it's all about keeping that momentum, keeping it hit for hit, and Jim Kohler's doing just that with another triple combo right there. And getting a little slap wheelie. Carrying it out into the field again, going for the sender ramp. All throttle here for the Avenger. He's got some huge air.
Wow. Not bad for Jim Kohler and Avenger as he has 15 seconds. Look at the sick air.
Oh, man.
Avenger really coming for it here, man. He wants it bad.
Into the donuts. The front wheel is off the ground. He's spinning the spin cycle.
Wow. Pop the belts. Jim Kohler with one of the gnarliest performances of the night. What have the judges thought? There it is. A score of a 28 will be your new leader, Jim Kohler and Avenger.
Well deserved, too. I mean, what a run we saw there from Jim Kohler. But, you know, if there's anybody that's going to be able to really take that lead, I think it's going to be Todd Frolick, man.
Of course.
He's definitely...
Yeah. You know, I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off. You know, he did win wheelies, and he was kind of disappointed in racing. So, you know, but between the broadcast, you know, between racing and the start of Freestyle, we actually got to talk to him a little bit, and he wants this win, man. He really wants to show Stafford that Barefoot can win a Freestyle.
Yeah, he wants to show Stafford that Barefoot can win more than just wheelie competition. Obviously, this truck is built for racing, and as we saw in wheelie competition, it's built for wheelies as well. But the thing is, like, is it built for freestyle?
Whoa, look at this.
Oh, man.
Incredible power wheelie. Gets a little sideways and settles her down. I think that's the first we've ever seen on T.Ray, Trent.
I don't think we've ever seen a power wheelie before here on T.Ray. Nice little sky wheelie. That's what got him the win. Todd Frolick keeps it up here, but he's still kind of missing the momentum that Jim Kohler had.
He's just a little choppy, you know, but in between moves. But he has the moves. He definitely has the horsepower. I mean, he showed us that. But, you know, look at Todd Frolick really keeping it going here. And if you notice on the front of that old Barefoot, you know, the bumper is gone, and he actually fell off during racing. So maybe that gives him a little bit more visibility as he continues on with 30 seconds left in freestyle.
With sick air like that, what more visibility do you need? And look at that, some more big air from Barefoot, really challenging Jim Kohler's air from earlier tonight. And as the final 12 seconds on the clock expire, Todd Frolick will put his score up here in freestyle as he keeps going.
Will it be enough, though? I don't know. It might be. He had some gnarly moments, but I really think he was just lacking a wow factor. But I'm excited to see what the judges thought of old Barefoot as he takes a parade lap, showing off the power here. Okay, a 27, so not bad. Only missing by 1 point. So as of right now, he's good enough for second place as he pops the belt and waves to the fans here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Not bad for old Todd Frolick and Barefoot. And
here we go. The veteran out of St. Louis, Missouri, comes Andy Brass in the Bigfoot, and I gotta tell you, this is probably one of Andy Brass's first times ever really doing a freestyle. And obviously earlier tonight he had those sway bar issues, but they got it fixed during the break, and now he's out here. And obviously this truck is 100% built for racing.
Yeah, it is, and you know, but it doesn't mean he's not going to try for freestyle. And you know, we've seen Andy do a good job in all disciplines, but you know, it begs the question. You know, is the sway bar going to hold up, especially after that gnarly hit in wheelies? So I'm excited to see what he can do. But nonetheless, 30 seconds in, look at this huge air. Oh, hang on, get a little sideways. Barefoot,
nice.
Bigfoot almost turns it over.
A nice save. The veteran definitely coming out of Andy Brass, you know, trying to keep up with the new age.
I mean, Trent, when's the last... Oh, he got a little two wheels there. When's the last time you saw a Bigfoot upside down?
Not very often, man. They can't afford that.
Nonetheless, the Ford camp with Andy Brass turning in... Oh, hang on! Oh! And he's upside down. I spoke too soon, Trent. Andy Brass leaving way too much time on the clock. It's not going to be enough. I'd be surprised. There it is. Yeah, the judges are going to throw up a 19, but Andy Brass doing what he could. I think that was a sway bar issue. It was that same side leaning super heavy. Tough break for old Bigfoot.
But now here we go. Last but certainly not least, trying to take the lead from Jim Kohler and Avenger, Gary Porter in the Gravedigger. You know, Gravedigger number 12, like I mentioned earlier, usually used for racing. One of the longest wheelbase that Gravedigger fleet has ever had. And obviously, but Gary Porter, he's a strong fit for this truck.
Oh, yeah, and this is a beautiful piece, too, and Gary's a veteran, and he's a little upset about racing. You know, he's probably going to go a little harder here in Freestyle to make up for it, and this truck, like you've said before, is really built for racing, but we've seen it turn in some cool performances for Freestyle, and you can see in the back, this is the last time we're going to see that checkered flag on the back of this truck, because it will go to Avenger the next time we see them out here, so maybe Gary can win it back on our next coverage of T.Ray. But look at this. Keeping a good momentum here, first 20 seconds, not bad for a down and back pass for old Gravedigger.
Definitely keeping up the momentum here as he's going through the field. Once again, trying to go for that cinder ramp. Gravedigger going full throttle here. Some sick air.
Gary Porter keeping it momentum going here in Gravedigger. Just shy of about 45 seconds left for Gary Porter, getting a little sideways, keeping the momentum going. This is a good run so far.
Absolutely, he's keeping the air up. He's keeping the momentum. He's definitely doing a digger run here, Tyler. I mean, what more can you say?
Gary Porter, of course, out of Waynesboro, North Carolina. He just loves this truck, and it really looks... Look, here we go, some digger donuts here, Trent.
Look at that open front differential go to work there as he's keeping the truck stable. And look at the sick air. He is not afraid to go big here, Tyler.
He's got 10 seconds left. Will it be enough? He's really got to finish it strong here if he wants to take the lead away from Avenger. Here we go. Here we go. Count it down. 3, 2, 1, 0. Here we go. That is it. This is the final move that the judges will score. So scores coming in for Gravedigger, but that doesn't mean he's going to stop.
Now the rest he does here is for the fans and not for a score, as he gets on his side and on his lid.
So Gravedigger only scoring a 26, and that means your Freestyle winner, Jim Kohler and Avenger, will also double down.
You know, obviously Jim Kohler had a really good run and had some really good momentum and passing and racing. But here are the point standings, Tyler.
Gravedigger will lead with a 56, Avenger with a 52, and Todd Frolic will round out your top 3 in Barefoot with a score of 50. What a great night of coverage here at the Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you like the wheelies and racing, leave us a comment below and let us know what you think. From Tyler Rayas, Brandon Scalf, and Trenton Ray, we'll see you next time right here on T.Ray.